Lord.
Another victory.
Y'all got to step y'all game up on Google Hangouts, too, because he's killing them on Google Hangouts.
Baby.
Yeah,
That's a real mask.
So, how'd you do it, Scoregasms? 125 points versus Golden, 78.
Wow.
Yeah, I had actually I played Aubrey, and as I told you before, I had a bye this week. So
Oh, yeah,
he didn't even show up this week. I don't know where he is. He's usually on the panel. Peyton Manning did what he does, 34 points. Riley Cooper, who I picked up once again, I'm picking up off the waiver wire. So, these guys cannot compete with me. Riley Cooper did it last week. He did it again this week. I picked him up, got 22 points from him. So, it's the same old thing. I think this is like my 8th week in first place.
It is.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
It is. And
He's not wrong. That's the thing.
And it's James. It's James P, a.k.a. Visionary, second week in second place. What's up, James? How you doing? You had a nice win today. Win last week.
It's all good over here, I'm holding down second place right now. That's temporary. First place coming. It's all good. Drew Brees showed up. And also I had Demetrius Thomas for the receiver for the Broncos showed up. I'm good.
Good. Glad to see that you're good and holding down second place. So hopefully you can keep that spot. And holding down third place is your boy Terrence Bryant, Mind Games. Where you at, Terrence? How you doing? You lost last week, but you're still holding down third place.
Listen, guys, it happens. I'm not worried about it. We let him have his little second place for right now because that's not even what I want. I want first. So let him enjoy it. I'll be back on top soon.
Well, you can't get first with L's like that.
Can I ask Terrence a question?
Whoa! Whose side are you on?
I'm just saying. I'm looking at the scoreboard. Numbers don't lie.
You right. Numbers don't lie. I'll see y'all at the championship.
Hey, Terrence, what you going to do this week since you have Romo on a bye?
Well,
Legitimate
question.
question. Legitimate what? Really look.
I'm glad you asked. Actually, I picked up Case Keenum.
I see.
He's doing
Nice.
a pretty good job. And he plays against the Oakland Raiders. How have they been doing?
Good pickup. But it's still not Drew Brees or Romo. Romo's been up there. I think he's number 4 or 5 in yardage this year.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. It's the Oakland Raiders, guys.
All right, while we're talking about places, got to shout out Nikki Simpson, the only female in our league, holding down 4th place. And in 5th place is Hop. Hop's on the line. What's going on, Hop? It's nice to see you on Google Hangouts.
Hey, happy Tuesday, people. 5th place is coming up strong.
I see that.
Even though you lost your quarterback last week?
Hey, I picked up a pretty big quarterback in Nick Foles, man. I think he might take me to the promised land.
Okay, Foles over Rodgers. I hear you.
Actually,
hopefully I get Rodgers back before the end of the season.
Hop, you deserve a big shout out. You had the largest lead out of everybody's score. You won 120 to 61 versus Ike Turner this week. So shout outs to you. You killed it. You killed it.
I can't beat nobody.
Ike, yeah. Unfortunately.
Ike lost that left hook.
Yeah, Ike ain't beating nobody down. R.I.P. to Ricky Bird. And Mike, you hold it down 6th place. Freddy's Fanatics.
Yeah, I was 5 and 5. I tell you, I'm in the race. Everybody in this league, other than maybe 1 or 2 people, are really in the race here. It's a real tight league. It's been a lot of fun. And when I walk away with that trophy, everybody will be whining.
Now talk about what playoffs might look like for this league.
Oh, right now it looks like when I look at the standings, we have a lot of 5 and 5 teams. So 6 and 4, 8 and 2, 3 and 7, 4 and 6, 5 and 5.
5 and 5 will not get you in.
It might this year. Oh no, because of the crazy way we do divisions. Yeah, right. Well, you might not be in there. Don't be so confident so soon. Yeah, all right, buddy.
All right, well, coming up, we're going to talk about our guest league. We do have guests in the building today. And what's the name of your league?
That Dirty South.
That Dirty South.
And I don't speak bad English. That's just the way we spell D-A-T.
We get you.
Hey, he went to UGA, Jared. He went to UGA. He didn't go to Ohio State.
That Dirty South is in the building. We'll be talking about their league coming up and more. If you'd like to talk about your league, please email us at liveconversations@gmail.com. That's liveconversations with an S @gmail.com. We can get you in here talking about your league, talking that smack, talking that stats, and we will be right back. Stay tuned.
The kind of people that wear game breaker apparel are people with active lifestyles. A game breaker transcends sports. Game breaker lifestyle is an inspired lifestyle. Being a game breaker is about breaking this game of life. Now ask yourself, are you a game breaker?
Yeah, well, Slaw, we doing wide receivers on points per reception, so it's all about the quarterback.
What do you think about the wide receivers that the Falcons have?
Wide receiver, we're talking about wide receivers right now.
The wide receivers got to really be based out of the NFC.
Everybody focusing on wide receivers, but I'm gonna tell you, the sleeper wide receiver for New York Giants.
If they overloaded with wide receivers, you got to split the time, you got to split the catches, you're going to split the yards.
Who's better at that than the slot receiver, man?
As I'm picking receivers, I'm looking at the quarterbacks.
The wide receivers, but Tony Gonzalez is going to factor in.
In order to get a wide receiver, you got to make sure that that guy is coming through with everything, 100% all the time.
We're doing a word association game.
It looks like you're going to be free agency quite a bit.
Well, good.
Right. We have a tremendous receiving core, and he's going to fit right in.
Yeah, but I think everybody's seen that show before. So you're going to have to, I think he'd be used more as a decoy.
You think so?
Welcome back to Fantasy Football League Live Conversations. We are here live at MediaMindProTV.com, talking smack, talking stats, talking about fantasy football. Your league, our league, everyone's league, and we have special guests in the house today. My boys, Travis and Mike. How you doing, gentlemen?
Doing good. Doing good.
How's your leagues doing? How's your team doing?
My league really is pretty good. I'm not doing that well. I thought I was going to get Coach of the Year this year. Unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and Cobb got hurt, and I picked up Boykin. And then last week, for instance, I was down by 15 points. Had 4 guys going. Aaron Rodgers get hurt. Boykin get 1 point. I think 2 other people, my kicker, missed 2 field goals, so it's been rough.
Ooh, gotta get a Seattle kicker.
But exactly. Or, it's either Seattle or even the Falcons, because they're not scoring points.
Right.
At least I can count on them to get a field goal, right? So for the most part, it's not really going as planned, but I am winning. I'm 4-6. 6-6 get me in my playoffs. So that's what I'm looking forward to for the most part.
Now, since you guys played collegiate football, I know you played at Notre Dame, Corey. I know you played at UGA, and you were first baseman.
Yep, absolutely. I was that dude.
Two-sport guy.
I was him. I was that guy.
Having prior knowledge of football on another level, does that really help you with selecting fantasy players, knowing schemes, knowing defenses, knowing not at all? But yes, for you, and not at all for you. So I want to hear both, and I want to start with Corey.
Corey,
why it doesn't.
Well, I'm kind of getting into the fantasy football, but I look at it from the perspective of how I played and the guys, and you can really see who has heart and who don't have
Absolutely.
heart. You know, so I kind of gauge the guys from that perspective. But this year, I'm a Falcons fan, so most of my team was Falcons, so I'm hurt.
Ooh, that was a mistake right there.
It was a mistake.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I mean, you try to go in with the X's and O's, and you realize for the most part, that's not important. I mean, who knew Zach Stacy would be effective, right?
Absolutely.
However, he is an SEC caliber running back coming from Vanderbilt, week in and week out, playing against the most, I would say, talented competition, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you use a lot of the athletic acumen to decide, but sometimes it backfires. I picked up, say, the beginning of the year, I had Tavon Austin, who started to show week 10. But early on, I played him, and he was giving me like 0.7 points.
Absolutely.
Right? Then I had Cordero Patterson early on. I played him. He got me 0.2 points. Right? So a lot of times you look at guys who can come in and make an impact based on my experiences, my acumen early, when the whole time you have to look at the guys that are proven. And I tried to get guys and I tried to be slick during my draft. I picked Aaron Rodgers first. Unfortunately, he's hurt. I had Randall Cobb as my receiver, him throwing directly too. But for the most part, I would say, having that background, it does help to a certain extent. But then, most of the lame dudes in my league winning, who ain't never played the game, where they do that at?
Well, I mean, what you've seen now, I think, and they kind of highlighted on ESPN not too long ago, where there's been almost an intrusion and infiltration of a lot of intellect, a lot of nerds that do a lot of things with the NFL, whether it be running stats, whether it be a fantasy football league. I mean, you have guys from MIT and U Chicago coming up with these regressions to let you know how performance is going to go. So, it shouldn't take a Harvard degree to compete at that level, but now you're seeing all these guys coming in and just doing it. And that's not a knock on anybody else, but you just see it happening a lot more.
And they have the time, right? They have the time to sit down. Like me, I went to a Falcon game the other day, and I went to a Georgia game a couple weeks ago, and I'm just not used to tailgating and being a fan, being on that other side, looking at the stats. Right. Never really been a stats guy, really been a production type guy. Absolutely. A guy that made, for instance, Casey Hampton back in the day with, Pittsburgh Steelers, being a nose guard, didn't make a lot of plays, but if it wasn't for him being on the inside, James Farrell wouldn't have been the guy he was. Right? James Harrison wouldn't get a one-on-one block on the end because Casey Hampton taking up 7 people on the inside. Right. I'm being funny because he's a big dude. He's a big dude, But for the most part, a lot of guys look at stats when I don't. For the most part, a lot of guys like us, we look at the production aspect of, the people around you being successful, the big picture of the team doing well. And fantasy football has really moved me from being a fan of teams, really being a fan of like the players. And that can either hurt like jersey sales or everything because you're looking at your team at that point.
Right.
I cheer for Zach Stacy in St. Louis.
Right.
Where they do that at?
Nowhere.
So.
Now, speaking of being successful, I know that's one of the main points or the main purposes for your company, Game Breakers, is inspiring people to step their game up, to be successful, not only in sports, but in life and just on an everyday basis. Tell me more about Game Breakers.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go. So Game Breakers, just like you said, we want to inspire people to be the best person that you are, right? So it's outside of sports. It's a lifestyle. So we started off in the, let's say, apparel business, but it's really bigger than that. So we're transitioning now to a more of a branding powerhouse of it can be sports, energy drinks, so on and so forth. It's not just the clothing piece. It's people inspired to do the best in whatever God-given talent they have.
Right. In actuality, we started off in the apparel business. But for the most part right now, we're selling a mindset. We're selling a state of mind, right? So the apparel becomes the conduit to get the message out.
Absolutely.
A way of life, being mentally, spiritually strong, overcoming life's obstacles. Game Breakers are patient enough to receive delayed gratification from hard work. Being that we're in this Google mindset, microwave state of mind, people forget about the work. It's okay to work, to grind here, to receive that delayed gratification, and understanding what that is, right? That's what we're about, is just to let people know that it's okay to grind, work hard now to receive that reward and that goal. And it makes life worth living. If it was given, a lot of people, it's like the guys, for instance. Any other females in your league besides Erica?
Well, Nikki is the only female in the league thus far, but next we have an all-girls league that we also work with as well.
It's kind of like guys listening who go out on that first date and get lucky as opposed to the one that get that chase. So you can apply that to everything, right? And that's what we do in regards to Game Breaker being that whole mindset, state of mind, movement, lifestyle.
Well,
we will be the next dudes in the game.
And that's what we're about to get to, patience in fantasy football.
Travis and Mike, I thank you for coming in today. Hopefully you can, I'm sorry, Corey. Thank you for coming on to the game. Thank you for coming on to the show today. Hopefully you can stay, join us for the rest of the show, especially during our Stardom Sit-In. We'd love your input, your intellect. We're going to hear more from Game Breakers. If you'd like to learn more about Game Breakers, you can visit areyouagamebreaker.com. That's areyouagamebreaker.com. Learn more and stay right here. They'll be staying right here with us for the rest of the show. Keep it locked to Fantasy Football League live conversations on MediaMindProTV.com.
What's going on? It's your girl Erica. We down here at one of the hottest scenes at tailgating at the Dome. Here with my boy Cameo. He's not playing fantasy this year, but he has some advice for y'all.
If I was playing fantasy this year, I would go with, who would I go with? I got to go with Peyton Manning, of course. He gets all the points this year. Of course, not as wide receiver, but the tight end.
Yeah, 7-2 in my NFL.com league. Trying to make it happen, trying to win my prize.
Fine. How's the team?
Killing, man. You already know what it is, man. You already know, man. I'm killing in the fantasy league, man. Every week is an update, so I already got him.
With my boy Don, whose team is Guru, and for a reason. He's 8-1. What's going on, Don?
And listen, checking my team by the second as I sit here, but first and foremost, chilling amongst my fellow ATLians. Tailgating in the big city of Atlanta, you know. At the same time, always watching my team, the Guru, on CBS Football.
I have two teams. One is the Crazy 22s, and the other one is the Family Bunch.
And which one is in the toilet right now?
The Family Bunch is in the toilet.
Hi, what's going on? Is it injury?
I mean, it's injuries. I drafted first. I was first pick. I picked up Adrian.
That's a good thing, I thought.
No, I picked up Adrian Peterson on the first draft, and it's not happening. It's not going well at all.
My sleeper right now, Chris Johnson. Even though he ain't over the weight wire, but I didn't have more. I would not have had him on my team at first, but right now, Chris Johnson will be my man I have to go with all day.
So tell me about your roster. Who's on it?
Well, my starting quarterback, I lucked up in the draft. I drafted Brady first round, but I caught my diamond in the rough, as I call him. I caught Phillip Rivers in the 11th round. Phillip Rivers, I've been starting the majority of the season, so I got Phillip Rivers, Sproles, Danny Woodhead. Those my point, but my biggest point getter is Jimmy Graham from the Saints. Jimmy Graham, of all those fantasy knowers, know Jimmy Graham is a point maker.
I got Peyton Manning as a quarterback. I got Torrey Smith as one of my receivers. Ben Jarvis Green, Ellis is one of my running back. Also I had Julio, but Julio hurt. Got the Broncos defense. Also got the Titans defense as a backup. So hopefully the Titans defense give me some points this weekend. They playing Jacksonville, which is like one of the sorriest teams in the league. So I should be good. Yeah, I should be good on that.
I had a sneaker pick, man. I had Marvin Lewis over in Marvin Jones up in Cincinnati. He was a sleeper pick, and I already got him, so it's a done deal. Again, I got Brady on my bench. Think about it. I got Brady on my bench. You know,
benching Brady.
Yeah, I'm benching Brady.
Wow.
Brady.
So you know he's got a strong roster right there.
I lost Julio. I lost about 13, 14 points every week. So I traded Ray Rice for T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton been beasting for me, so he definitely in my starting lineup for right now.
You got to come on the show and represent. Will you do that?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, you got your fan representing the Detroit Lions. While he representing Calvin Johnson, I had to get Matthew Stafford on there. So, you know what I'm saying? Whatever points he get, I get.
What place do you hold in with your league?
So I'm in the 4th place with the Good League, and in the Family Bunch, I'm in last place.
It don't matter.
As you said earlier, it's all about numbers.
But I tell you what else. Nick Foles, even though I'm a Mike Vick fan, Nick Foles, shit, you can dream about points all you want, but ain't nobody gonna give you 7 touchdowns like Nick Foles. And then he still threw one today.
But speaking of rosters, have any of the injuries affected you over the season so far?
Yeah, a little bit of injuries with Jimmy Graham. Let's start with that. So I had a shot for a tight end a little bit. Fortunately, he had the bye week to try to get through the injury, so I didn't fret too much. I went and got, I think his name is Wright. He's a backup tight end for Tampa Bay, and he helped me get through a little week when I thought Jimmy Graham might have been a little hurt. So, but you know what? I'm getting through the injuries. The injury bug hasn't really affected me like some of my other counterparts, but you know what? I don't care. I'm in for the big dollars.
You're in first place, and you're going to hold that down.
First place and hold it down.
What's going on? Turn up. They were turned up at the tailgating last Sunday. Shout out to everybody we interviewed. Shout out to Jersey City was in the building. It was so nice to meet people from my hometown. I gotta shout them out real quick. You already know. Yes, I am. I'm proud to be an ATL and not proud to be an ATL as far as the Falcons though. I don't know about that. And we ain't even gonna talk about the Braves moving. But welcome back to Fantasy Football League Live Conversations. I'm your girl Erica. We all here with my boys Fabian, Mike. Welcome back to the set, and my boy Travis, who we met at tailgating a couple weeks ago at the Falcons versus Tampa game.
Yeah, that was a pretty good game. We pulled it off. Fortunate enough to.
That was our last one, right?
Yeah, that was about the last one.
Yeah.
We made some big mistakes, but pulled it off at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool.
So we will get back into who didn't make mistakes, who actually had some great performances this past week. Starting it off with Travis, Trayvon Austin, 2 catches, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, punt return, 31 fantasy points.
And look, Trayvon Austin, just like he said earlier, for the past 10 weeks, he has been essentially a non-factor for your fantasy football team. And not only that, a non-factor for the Rams, but then he comes in here and he goes up against the Colts with Andrew Luck, amazing quarterback, good defense, and he makes them look absolutely silly. Absolutely silly.
I agree. It's all about the patience aspect of game worker, right?
Yep.
He was truly a game worker. That's why he went 8th overall pick in this past year's draft.
Yep.
It's because of that, right? Figured out the system, figured out what it means to be a professional, starting to learn the game. He's confident, he's comfortable, and there you go. It's a big stage.
That's why it's sometimes a mistake to draft a wide receiver or rookie wide receiver early in the draft because you know he's only going to pay off for you basically at the end of the year. So it's going to be 8 or 9 games before you really get some value out of a rookie wide receiver in fantasy.
Yeah, and everybody was banking on him this year. I mean, he was probably one of the most talked about players in this draft as far as from a speed perspective and just, I mean, really just all around skills, the intangible things, the tangible things. And then you're waiting on him to erupt and waiting on him to blow up. And sometimes that investment does not come early. It comes later in the season and it kind of rolls into the next season.
It depends on what quarterback you have.
It depends on who you have.
And who get hurt.
But also at the same time.
And just saying, I mean, he almost broke a standing record.
Yeah.
So that lets you know the type of talent that he is and what they thought he would be, right, coming through.
Let's go Atlanta's #1 nemesis, Drew Brees. The always impeccable Drew Brees. 34, 41, 392 yards, 4 touchdowns. Absolutely torch Monty Kiffin's defense. He might be almost like his son looking for a job after the season.
I don't think so. I mean, that's just, I think, vintage Drew Brees. Unfortunately, I played against him. I didn't think he would get 46 points in my league. However, Drew Brees is Drew Brees.
Always.
And they keep tangible talent around him. Right?
And
he got a line, he got running backs,
Yeah.
he got a defense.
Yeah.
And when they play in unison, when you play in
running backs, a bunch of wide receivers, and Drew Brees makes them, though.
Yeah.
He'll throw to them.
Yeah.
He'll throw you open.
Yeah.
So, Drew Brees, you never hit Drew Brees.
I think I'd have been shocked had he not.
Speaking of throwing, I want to throw it to Google Hangouts. I want to hear some surprise performances from Terrence. You did, Terrence? Who surprised you this week?
You guys were just talking about Trayvon Austin. I don't know if anybody noticed, but he was sitting out there in free agency. So I picked him up this weekend. And I dropped him for Cotry because I saw he was playing against the Colts. 31, 33 points. I'm sick about
I'm sure you are.
Don't get excited over 1 week.
Hop, how about you? Who are you most proud of this week? Hop?
Well, I was really proud of Brandon Marshall because they've been sort of struggling and inconsistent. with quarterback issues and everything. He really stepped up and had a huge game for him.
Definitely. 25 fantasy points, 7 catches, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That other guy playing beside him had a good week. He had over 100 yards, I believe.
Yeah, but you gotta get in that end zone, though.
Yeah, that's true in our league.
Get in the end zone.
But you want yards if you don't.
Yeah.
You want those yard points. You want those yard points.
How about you, James? Surprise performances?
I have to say, Demaryius Thomas for Denver, the wide receiver. He did his thing this weekend with 108 receiving yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. So he's my player of the week.
That's what I'm talking about. Another person, Rashad Matthews.
Rashard Matthews did very well this week. 11 catches, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. Coming off of everything that's been happening with the Miami Dolphins over the past week and a half.
But you know, I like to ask the football man here something.
Please, Bob.
Mike Wallace. You know, in most leagues, he went first, second, or third round. He seems, I was wondering, is it heart? Because you were talking about heart. Is that what he's missing? Or what is it with him not catching the balls and not getting over it?
I think it was more so of them with the running game, him not being truly focused on the task at hand. It was more about him getting money and getting paid, right? So not looking at the intangible things that can affect you doing your job is not really about the individual. And I think he got caught up into that. I think by the end of the season, I think he may get on track. I think they finally started to get a running game. Tannehill started to get comfortable. However, with the cloud over their heads in Miami, that may kind of hinder that a little bit.
KB, talk to me, man. Rashard Matthews, you watched the game last night. 11 catches, 120 yards. Definitely taking Mike Wallace's spot from a production standpoint. KB?
Oh, KB's like he's frozen. What's up, Jerb?
What's going on?
Got your headphones on today. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much.
Hey, y'all don't even know. I mean, I try to do it, second class.
What is?
I appreciate you. For those watching at home, just a quick notice. If you would like to be on live conversations, if you would like to be on the show, definitely got to have your headphones on. And do that Google Hangouts test with us. You can email us at liveconversations@gmail.com and get on just like my boy Jerb. So Jerb, while we have your attention, who was the most surprising performance that you witnessed this past week?
I'd have to say Nick Foles and Tavon Austin. Because who thought Nick Foles would do what he did? Considering, first time quarterback, as soon as they get some film on somebody, the next game, usually they've got the defenses have got a package together to kind of stop them. So that's surprising.
Yeah, five out of seven of us said sit him last week when we did our sit him segment. Five of y'all sat Nick Foles.
Of course. There's no way he was gonna play him. That was luck.
Yeah.
That was luck.
Well, since I wasn't here, I would have started him. Since I wasn't here last week, I would have started him.
Yeah, you say that now.
Yeah. I saw it coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And who else is there? Is KB Beck? No. All right. Well, well, another one I want to talk about is Pierre Thomas.
Yeah.
22 fantasy points. I mean, 7 catches. He's just killing
7 catches, 17 rushes for 80.
Scary start, though.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's the crazy part about it. The fact that they did this to the Dallas defense is not even surprising to me. They have allowed 4 400-yard quarterbacks this whole season. Again.
Yeah, but in the fantasy league, to start him is a question because you got Mark Ingram, who looked good also, and then you got Sproles.
But he been iffy. Both of them been up and down.
Has not been necessarily great for the New Orleans Saints.
No, he hasn't. But then you got Sproles.
But Pierre Thomas, time and time again, has done his job whenever it's asked.
He's dependable. He's
dependable.
But he doesn't get that many fantasy points. Right, he's not that many fantasy points week in. It's too many backs.
He's not consistent. He might have all the heart in the world, but he ain't consistent.
Yeah. Right, too many backs. Yeah. Too many backs in New Orleans.
Yeah, Drew Brees is old equable, like I like to call him.
Get points for blocking.
Well, you got to look at Drew Brees spread the wealth as well.
He does.
Right? So that's why they're doing so well.
Speaking of spreading the wealth, we will be schooling you. We'll be giving you all the wealth of information that we have for you. We will be talking about injuries, waiver wire, sleepers, who you need to be picking up, so you need to be staying tuned right here to MediaMindProTV.com. It's Fantasy Football League Live Conversations. You make sure you stay in tune. We got more to come. Stay it.
Look, I be riding through my old hood, but I'm in my new whip. Same old attitude, but I'm on that new shit. They say they gon' ride me. See me never.
King is here. Oh yeah, he might be coming out of college. But that Alabama boy, who was he drafted by? Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers, right? I gotta put him down. Lacy. Oh yeah, he got power. Oh yeah, I like that Lacy boy. Oh, I might have to take him. And Green Bay needs a running back. Whoa, go Lacy. Okay. Yeah, gotta look at them rookies. Gotta look at them draft choices.
Fantasy football quarterback for my team will be Aaron Rodgers. The top three point producing quarterbacks last year in fantasy football were in the order of Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. I'm choosing Aaron Rodgers because, one, Drew Brees, the defense is a little shaky. You have to have the ball to score points. They throw the ball a lot, but the defense is really weak. Tom Brady has issues with his receivers. Deion Branch is gone, Wes Welker's gone, and Aaron Hernandez is having legal issues. So we don't know if he's going to be available or not. And on top of that, Gronkowski is hurt. So that's it. And I'm going to choose Aaron Rodgers because they're going to be really, really hungry this year, and they can improve their defense, so they'll have the ball. How do you have Aaron Rodgers when I have Aaron Rodgers? Because I got the number 1 pick. I got the number 1 pick.
How many Super Bowls does the Cleveland Browns have?
Hey, we're not talking about that. Hey, let's not get personal. We're not talking about that right now.
Yeah, set your resolution to standard, because if I set mine to high, if you're on a mobile device, you won't be able to see it.
He plays Virginia Tech. He should chase rabbits in his front yard.
Look how nice they are to each other so far.
Right.
He played football. He sat on the bench.
Oh, okay. Who give him that? You been smoking. Come on, bro.
I heard you talking about them quarterbacks. Yeah, okay, so I'm trying to steal some information so when you get ready to draft, I know what's going on.
Loud. I thought you were the big payback. Hey. I snitched it.
Because he got herpes now, so I don't know.
We can make a secret group for those who are not allowed to be publicly on Facebook.
You can put that in
Right. We'll make a private group for that.
Everybody knows about Jim Brown.
Jimmy, I'll be wearing that jersey. Yes, definitely. You will see that jersey on Fantasy Football Live Conversation.
The dog sound.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. And hey, don't forget to check in next week. Are you sorry?
It's Fantasy Football League Live Conversation. And that was Mike right there representing for them Qs. And we got 2 Qs in the house today. Let me bark.
Throw them hoofs up.
That's what I'm talking about. It's Fantasy Football League Live Conversation. It's time to talk about that injury report. What's going on with these players? It's always a sad day when somebody's out for the season, man.
It's a very sad day. And it's a really sad day for Jake Locker. He's out with a common foot injury that's very detrimental, wrist sprain injury. He's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt someone.
And out for the next week, the next couple of weeks is Jay Cutler.
Yes, that groin injury is still getting to him. It looked like they put him back into action way too early. If anything, I would have rolled the hot hand with Josh McCown. He played great for him against the Packers, and Jay Cutler just didn't have enough time to recuperate.
I wonder who Brandon Bowe, because that's who he has. I wonder who his backup quarterback is. You know, because that's going to be something to see. Cutler gone.
Yeah, Cutler's out of here. It's and the issues just try and compound upon themselves with that. They tend to have a lack of depth in quarterback. This is not the first time that has happened. Remember, 2 seasons ago, they were 7-3.
Yeah.
Broke his thumb against San Diego. They didn't finish well the rest of the season. They didn't make the playoffs. It was just a really bad deal.
They need Cutler.
So they really need Cutler.
Speaking of not being able to finish the season, what about Mike James? Alex, let me hear from you. He has a fractured ankle. They said this could be it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking good. I mean, anytime you got a running back with any kind of lower leg, ankle, foot injury, it's never a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can't put your foot in the ground. You can't cut. You really, it takes a lot out of your game for a running back. That's a big injury.
And it's hard for people to rely on you, you know. And Vernon Davis.
Yes, Vernon Davis. I mean, the game that was played on Sunday between the Carolina Panthers and the 49ers, I really didn't expect it to go that way.
Yeah.
The fact that they limited Colin Kaepernick so much, and of course Vernon Davis gets a concussion by probably the best defense one of the best defenses in the league.
Oh yeah,
Vernon.
And that's big for them too, because with that West Coast offense, they're really relying on a lot of production out of the tight end.
Right.
So, you know, for him going down, that hurts San Francisco.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they had changed their offense to him being a tight end wide receiver.
Yeah.
So now you're taking away 2 spots, your wide receiver spot and your tight end spot.
Yeah.
They
He's
do
the
have
fastest
Mario
guy on the
Manningham
team.
back.
Yeah.
They do have Mario Manningham back. They also have Michael Crabtree coming back in the next week or so from injury. It
But the
might not be
confidence-
great with the Achilles. His confidence might not be there, but
I got one. I had one.
hey, you know.
Well, I want to
Yeah,
ask our team owner standing by on Google Hangouts, Terrence, how have you been affected by injuries? Anybody coming back on your team? Anybody out for the week?
We talked about this, I think, a little bit earlier in the season. I don't pick losers. None of my guys are hurt. No. Luckily, I haven't been bit with the injury bug. But I do have a question. If you lose somebody like Jay Cutler, how does that affect the starting status of somebody like an Alshon Jeffrey or Brandon Marshall? Do you change up because of that?
Well, if you saw from the Packers game, you saw that Josh McCown is going to pass the ball to Brandon Marshall. I think he was the recipient of most of his. I think he was the target of most of his passes. I don't think anything changes for Brandon Marshall. Maybe more so for Alshon Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey was open a good bit of times during that game, and he did not get those passes thrown to him.
But he started hitting them at the later part of the game.
Later part. He had a touchdown.
He had a 115 yard receiver.
He had a touchdown at the
Yeah.
end, but a majority of his passes
Yeah.
went towards Brandon Marshall. He's going to try it. That's the receiver that he trusts.
Well,
That's
you
your
know,
safety blanket. I
But
mean,
in our league, I'm wondering about the super producers because they've lost James, Jimmy Graham is stumbling around, and they lost Locker.
Well, Mike, I'm glad you asked because that's what we're going to talk about next. Because we're going to talk about the waiver wire. Who's still out there? Who can you possibly pick up? And who are we sleeping on?
Hey, the Harvard man, Ryan Fitzpatrick from Tennessee.
yeah.
23 fantasy points this week. I saw you shaking your head.
Well,
But he played a good game.
because they didn't see him coming. They didn't prepare for it.
No.
They thought
They'll
that.
see film.
Yeah, they'll see film, make the adjustments, and
Right.
dig a ditch with him this week.
And
that
please
means
let me
Trevor
speak to Ryan Fitzpatrick. I am a diehard Tennessee fan. If you guys cannot tell, we don't like him here. We don't like the guy.
23 fantasy points.
He's a choke artist.
Exactly.
Not pick him up at all.
Exactly.
If you need him and you have somebody that's injured, he may be viable for you.
But if
You
you
never
get-
know how it goes out.
Don't play a quarterback. You might get negative points.
Well, you can't blame it based on his Buffalo scenario.
I mean, look, we can go Nick Foles throwing 4 touchdowns 1 week against the Bucks, and then have him throwing only 80 against Dallas, and then come back with it's always, you know, you're not going to see with these guys a whole lot what they can do every single week. This is why if you need somebody to get you by for a week, maybe 2 weeks, you never know.
Yeah.
They could do it well for you.
Yeah.
So not too many quarterbacks out there.
Yeah.
James, you still there? Did you pick up anybody off the waiver wire recently, or are you looking at anybody?
I haven't really been looking at anybody. I do need a running back, but I'm looking at getting rid of Steven Jackson. So if anybody want him, he's just on the injury list.
We got
Carson Palmer. I think Carson Palmer is doing well. Finally, since they stabilized their running back scenario with Mendenhall and Ellington, and he got those two big receivers on the outside. They're 2-0.
But he scares you because he throws interceptions.
He had one last week, but I'll take it. I mean, he got some beasts on the outside, 2 running backs. We'll see what happens, and a good defense.
But we'll speak to James' point on trying to get rid of Steven Jackson because Andre Brown should probably be available. He rushed for 115 yards and a touchdown this Sunday against the Raiders. That could be a viable pickup for you.
Well, unfortunately, someone has him already.
Somebody has him already?
He's not available.
Not available at all. Somebody's.
I have nobody available in my league.
Well, speaking of who you do have in your league, we'll let you know some pointers on who to sit or start next week. Because coming up, we got our Stardom Sit-em, one of my favorite segments of the show. Coming right up, we'll be back right here. If you would like to be part of the show, don't forget to email liveconversationswithans@gmail.com, and you can be part of the show right here on MediaMindProTV. We'll be back with more on Fantasy Football League Live Conversations.
Can replace my mind, my heart. To be the best and stay there, sweat is necessary. I'm older. Of course I'm older. That's the beauty of it. 16 years plus. Different level of wisdom, different level of understanding, different level of punishment. I want to live long after my records have fallen, long after my rings have tarnished. And whatever you got to do to make sure you chase your legacy every second of your life. Will you be remembered? How would you be remembered? Why wouldn't you fight for the greatest achievement ever? Leave your mark to endure forever.
Welcome back to Fantasy Football League Live Conversations. It's about that time. One of the best parts of the show because we give you all this juicy information wrapped up into just seconds for our Stardom Sit-em segment. And we're going to let my boy Fabe take it. Stardom Sit-em, let's go.
Woo. Guys, Stardom Sit-em. This is the lightning round. You know how we do this already. First and foremost, we're going to go with Cam Newton versus the Patriots. He's been on the roll as of late. He's going up against a little bit of a better defense. He's going up against Tom Brady. Stardom Sit-em.
Stardom.
Stardom.
Always stardom.
Always stardom, Alex.
Game breaker.
Terrence, stardom, sit 'em.
What you say, son? Stardom, stardom.
James, the Biz, stardom, sit 'em.
Cam Newton is hot. You got to start him.
Gotta start him.
And Jerv.
That's the bros, okay.
Hey, in the words of Terrell Owens, that's my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
I like that. That's my quarterback. All right, let's go next. Giants defense versus the Packers. They did very well against the Raiders. Matter of fact, they've been doing very well over the past 2 or 3 weeks. Do we start them or sit them against a no quarterback having Packers?
Giants against the Raiders, and that's a comparison.
Okay, let me finish.
The Giants, Packers, I'd have to start them because the quarterback is hurt. But unless you have a top one like the Rams or somebody like that or Seattle.
Start them.
Sit them. Isn't this the team that was the first team in NFL history to allow more than 30 points in 5 straight games? Why don't we go ahead and sit them down.
That's why they recovered.
Nice, Terrence. Giants defense.
Say no, son. Say no. No, we don't ever start those guys.
Even with the backup to the backup quarterback in there, James, Giants defense versus Packers.
You're going to make my son cry. It's not going to happen.
The Viz, Giants D.
I don't have to say anything New York, you sit them.
Jerb.
Sit them down. You got to sit them down.
That's when that experience.
All right.
That's where the experience come in though, because that can save their whole season. They knock off the.
All right. Okay, so let's go next against your Browns. A very good defense.
You better sit,
Andy
Dalton. You better sit, Dalton. Cleveland's defense
They
has
ballin'.
been balling.
Ballin'.
They put pressure on the quarterback and they stop the run.
Yep.
You better sit them.
Better sit them.
Let's go, Andy Dalton.
Sit him
I would
down,
sit them.
sit 'em
Sit them.
down.
Yeah.
Sit him, Alex. You say sit him
'em
down.
down.
Sit him down. Jerb. Andy Dalton versus Browns.
Hey, you better be writing this stuff down. Sit them down.
Sit him down.
Sit down.
Terrence, Andy Dalton versus Browns. Sit him down or start him?
I have AJ Green. You better start him.
Oh, all right. The Viz, Andy Dalton.
I'm a realist. You got to sit him. He's not consistent.
I'm real with that. Stevan Ridley is going up against one of the top 5 defenses in the league in the Carolina Panthers. Do we start him or we sit him?
Sit them.
Sit him.
Start them. Who else they gonna use?
What else are they going to use?
Sit them down. They shut down Adrian Peterson. They shut down Frank Gore. He ain't doing nothing.
I appreciate those details. The Viz, not Andy Dalton, excuse me, Stevan Ridley versus the Panthers.
Oh, I forgot you were still playing. Yeah, sit him.
Terrence, Stevan Ridley.
I think you got to start Ridley. Look at the quarterback.
That's what I was about to say.
You can't say you shut down
Exactly.
Minnesota.
Yep. No quarterback.
Adrian Peterson, and you got who back there for quarterback? That's Tom Brady.
Yep.
Everything's gonna be open. Start that guy. You're gonna disappoint.
Sure. Talk to me.
Wait. Has Ridley been running for 100 yards a game?
Nah, but he did over the past 2 weeks.
He hadn't had to.
Okay then, so why blame him? You sit him down. I mean, you sit him down then. If you can't get you 100, if you can't get you a touchdown, 100 yards, why is he even in the lineup?
Okay. Let's go. Next
Glennon.
guy, Mike Glennon versus the Falcons. This is an interesting pick only because the Falcons can't seem to stop too many people. And Mike Glennon is playing better
Who
over the
is
course of
your
the week.
starting quarterback if you're starting Mike Glennon? Who did you draft in the draft? I sit him. Who do you have?
So what would you do?
So what would you do? Sit him. Thank you.
I'm
Mike
playing
Glennon.
them.
You're playing? You
I'm
would
playing
play
them. Absolutely.
That's why you need some more years, bro.
Alex, would you play him if you didn't have any other
If
quarterback?
you don't have anybody else, then you got to play him.
You
I
got
mean,
to.
who else? What are they going to do? They have no running game. They're playing against Atlanta. They can't stop anything right now.
Yeah.
So.
Perfect answer. Viz, Mike Glennon.
The Falcons can't beat nobody, so you have to start him.
All right, Terrence.
I think you gotta start them. I mean, with a record like what they got, all you gotta do is throw the ball. They ain't got nothing to lose. Start them.
Jerb.
I mean, you pick somebody up on the waiver wire, man. You don't put this guy in your lineup.
All
Put
right.
somebody else.
All right.
He better than
All right.
Carson Palmer.
This is real interesting. This is the question of the night. Gimpy Peyton Manning versus the #1 Chiefs defense. Start him still.
If you don't have one of the top 4 quarterbacks with Peyton Manning, you play him no matter what.
But is he ready though?
I wouldn't play
play
him
him
because
no
he's
matter
on 2
what.
bum ankles, and the Chiefs are balling. They got 2 pass rushers that are off the chain and an inside guy, and they got some corners on the
Hey,
second.
you would play if you
Absolutely.
had him.
I would.
Alex.
I've got a synonym for stardom, and that is Peyton Manning. It's the same thing. He's going to throw the ball. He doesn't move around that much anyway. You always start him.
If not, I'm coming back on the show.
Great. Viz, Peyton Manning.
Yeah, like you said, that's Peyton Manning. He got to start that guy regardless.
Oh my God.
All right. Terrence, Peyton Manning.
If it was Cam Newton with some bump ankles, I'd say sit him. It's Peyton Manning. Like was said, sits in the pocket. Is his arm broken? No.
All right, Jerv, I think we pretty much got what you were going to do, but by all means, tell everybody.
You gotta take that emotion out your little kid.
Hey, there's no emotion here, man. All rational.
He's talking to the bruh.
I said he was gifted.
He's saying him. He ain't talking to Peyton. He's talking about to the bruh.
Oh, you talking? Oh, I didn't know you were talking to me. No, I don't.
It's stardom sit-em for this week.
I don't think he's going to work out. Is he your quarterback?
Well, we gonna wrap this segment up, but we gonna have a minute for everybody to get their little words, and I know everybody still wants to talk their little smack, and this is the place to do it right here on Fantasy Football League Live Conversations. If you would like to talk your smack, make sure you are emailing us at liveconversations@gmail.com. Up next, we will have our final words, final thoughts for you, and some Facebook shout outs. Keep it locked to MediaMindProTV.com. Hey, sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you're still with us, and if you are, thank you for staying tuned to MediaMindProTV.com. This is Fantasy Football League Live Conversations, and we're down to our last segment. We got our last-minute advice that we would like to give to you, and one of them, or a couple of our questions, comes from Facebook, and we have Aubrey here reporting live for Facebook, from Facebook. Aubrey?
Hello, how are you doing? Monday night, Cam Newton, Carolina Panthers playing Tom Brady. The question Shakir wants to know, who should she start, Cam Newton or Tom Brady? Google Hangouts. Jerb, talk to me, baby. Who you got?
Hold on, 3 days in hand. You doing Dr. Seuss today.
Listen. Answer the question, young man. Answer the question, young man. Who should you start?
Wait, I thought we just did start.
Okay, answer the question. Next, Visionaries. Who you like?
Oh, you got control now.
Okay,
I just go with Cam. You know, I'm good with Cam.
Okay, thank you very much. Mike.
I would go Cam Newton. I like Cam Newton because they're playing New England, but Brady is not a bad start, but I go Cam.
Okay, let me talk to my man from the Game Breakers. Who you like?
I like Brady. He got Amendola, Gronk, halfway decent running game. I think I'm going to go with Brady in New England.
You think they'll put up points against that Carolina defense?
I think so, as long as they're not running the ball. Passing, yeah.
Who do you like?
I like Cam because you get more points with less yards rushing. If he runs for 50 yards, you're going to get points quicker than Tom Brady trying to throw the ball.
Okay, the next Facebook question. Denver's playing Kansas City this Sunday in Denver. Kenneth Gibbs wants to know who wins this game and how. Mike?
I'm not into winning games. I'm into fantasy football.
Just answer the question. Who wins the game?
I don't know.
Okay, next, Game Breakers.
Kansas City defense, pass rush. Peyton Manning can't move.
Okay, next.
I think the Denver points. Kansas City can't put up that many points.
Who you like, Terrence?
Peyton Manning.
Okay, Visionaries.
I think Kansas is due for a loss. So Denver's going to take this one.
Who you like, Jerb?
Kansas City, Nick Fury.
Okay, I appreciate that. Hey, yo, that's funny. I like that. So let me ask you a question. After beating the 49ers, which Carolina went and done, are the Carolina Panthers pretenders or contenders?
Contenders.
I don't know.
Defense wins championships. They have a championship caliber defense. If Cam Newton can be more consistent, they're absolute deep playoff contenders.
Okay, who you like, Jerb? Carolina.
Carolina.
Pretenders or contenders?
They're contenders. I said I like Carolina.
Okay, next, Terrence.
They're contenders.
Tell him to move his mouth when he talks.
Okay, I appreciate that. So my next question is this. This is the final question. The Falcons are having problems on defense. Should the Falcons release Mike Nolan? Listen, hold on. Listen, hear me out. Should they fire Mike Nolan based on the fact that Greg Grimes, Lofton, Abraham asked for more money, but yet they gave Matt Ryan a $57 million extension? Who's to blame for the fall of the Atlanta Falcons?
Oh, they the coach, the player.
We can talk about the fall of Falcons all day long, but we here to talk fantasy. I'm sorry.
Okay, but no. But this relates to the Falcons because my whole...
Ain't nobody playing the Falcons.
Listen.
If you all get them off your team, trade them, do what you got to do.
It is what it is. Don't get
It's a
upset.
wrap. I'm sorry.
Don't get upset. It is what it is. My question is this. Because the Atlanta Falcons were a team that was destined to be on the rise. So my question is this.
So you talking Matt Ryan or you talking the Falcons?
I'm talking the Falcons.
Well, we
organization.
talking
Matt Ryan plays
fantasy
It's a shared responsibility.
We're
the
talking
GM and the coach.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to the end of the show. We want to get to everybody's last word.
Thank you, Erica.
Rise up.
Get on America.
They need to rise up or go home.
No,
Stay
that's
home.
right.
They definitely don't need a new dome. They don't deserve that. So we want to get everybody's last minute. Thank you, Aubrey, for that Facebook. Thank you for that Facebook segment, Aubrey. I appreciate that. Thank you, Facebook fans, for sending your questions. Continue to do so. We're going to answer your questions right here each and every Tuesday. You already know what goes down. But I would like to get everybody's 10 seconds of last minute advice, suggestions for week 11. It's down to the wire. 4 more weeks left.
Go big or go home. You know, go ahead and make your trades if you need to. Get the players that you need to get into the playoffs and win championships. Just continue to do what you have to do. Study your stats and make sure you make right decisions. And thank you, veterans, for what you do. Veterans Day was yesterday. Just wanted to shout them out.
Well, thank you. No problem. But what I'd like to say is look at who people are cutting because they're grabbing at everybody right now. So somebody good might get cut. So look at those waiver wires and see who you might be able to get off of them.
My last minute thoughts are, I think Germ is really listening to NSYNC albums.
Germ.
Hey, with those Beats by Dre earphones, really, I think he's listening to Justin Bieber.
Talk proper English too. Alex.
Alex.
My advice would be that it's getting now to the point in the season where there's going to be certain teams that are not going to be competing as hard because they don't have anything to play for, and there's going to be some teams that have a lot to play for. So you want to keep that into account. If you've got a team that's, I'm not saying any names, 2-7, they might not be playing very hard as a team like Philadelphia, who's on the rise trying to take their division.
Last minute.
You just gotta watch your team from the standpoint of who's going to be in the playoffs and who's not, because they're gonna start sitting players, and if some of those players are your key players, you better have a replacement that's going to put some points on the board. You hear that little grub with the football stuff?
And
you
if
gotta have some players to score some points.
And if your team is playing the Falcons, you already know they're not going to play their starters. They're going to play their second and third string because they can do that. They playing Falcons. So watch who you're starting.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Falcons.
Go ahead.
Play the cheerleaders against the Falcons.
They're going to play the cheerleaders.
Funny.
James, the Viz, last words.
Well, one thing I will say is not how you start, it's how you finish. And you don't always have to have the cream of the crop players to have good points. And when it comes playoff time, that's going to show improve at that time frame because the good players are going to be on the bench during the playoffs so we can make it to the end of the season.
All right, Terrence, finish it off for us. Last words.
Thank you. You got a whole bunch of people might get sat down. A lot of people gonna be playing hard. Y'all need to go to week 15, week 16, click on projected stats, and see what your guys are projected to do and build your team based off of that.
Thank you. All right, that's it for tonight. It's Fantasy Football League Live Conversations. We meet each and every Tuesday evening right here. Be sure to email liveconversations@gmail.com if you would like to be part of the show. We'd love to have you on. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. It's MediaMindPro. We'll be back next week. Peace out.
Peace out. That's it. That's the best you got.
I got Larry live in the building, right here at the JoJo Dome. He is the woo-woo king right here. This stuff right here, delicious. How you doing? What are the ingredients of the woo-woo juice?
Thank you. I can't tell you all the ingredients, but listen, you experiencing the lemon drop right now. That's a new debut of the woo-woo. That's a baby woo-woo. We got to debut this lemon drop, all natural flavor lemonade. It has fresh fruit in it. It's the only drink you can drink and eat at the same damn time. Listen, we at the Falcons tailgate. Seattle, Washington is in the building. The Falcons in the building. Hopefully we win today. This is the woo-woo. We got a booth back here. Y'all see what we doing? We do it like we do it for TV, baby, and we love everybody that support the woo-woo movement. Thank you, and we love you. We love everybody.
Shout out to FFLLC. Y'all make it happen and do what y'all doing.
Oh, no doubt. Fantasy Football League Live. You got to love these shows right here. You got to support the mom and pop shows, the new up-and-coming shows every time. I appreciate y'all stopping by, coming to the tailgate. You know what? Fantasy Live, #1 all day.
Fantasy Football League Live Conversation, man, representing, man. Up here in the A-Town, man. We at the Dome doing the bigs.
No, yeah, you are.
89. Oh, my goodness.
You was back when it was an all-boys school.
Yes, ma'am. I was there when we was old boys for...
Yeah, nope.
So
in the library.
She went to my high school. Come on, man. I told her she hit the jackpot when she was. Where you going with somebody in Atlanta, GA?
in Jersey City and went to high school with her. Talk to me, girl.
You meet people from South Jersey. You don't never know.
North, you see Essex County, mom.